Hey everybody, welcome back. So, I'm basically back to where I was, but before I do anything, I'm actually going to save the state again. Okay, there we go. Just that way, just in case I fuck up, or what happens again won't happen again. I do really like the music though, like, this is just really fun. But overall, it's actually a very simple stage. I think the problem is I hit him way too high, so it sent me back far enough that I fell off the stage. Almost did it to me again. Okay, there we go. And so, the Doomsday Zone. This is the zone where if you do not have Super or Hypersonic, you cannot play this stage. You start with 50 rings, and you have to keep your ring count up. As far as I know, though, Hypersonic has the advantage because he can do his little dash attack to speed up. What is the point, you may ask? Well, unfortunately, the death of the Death Egg did not stop Robotnik, as you could probably tell from those missiles. I'm not doing a very good job of avoiding them either. No. And you actually do want to collect a good number of rings before you do this, because this is once again a time fight. So you want to make sure you have the rings to do this, and I don't think 60 will be quite enough. Maybe, but I don't know. Shit. So this is the new thing. Long story short, you have to guide those rockets into the core of Robotnik, which is the head. You have to do this as often as you can. The bullets will actually hurt you. Well, I say hurt you. You can't actually take physical damage, but they will They will send you into a cartwheel, so you can't really control yourself. You just want to cause as much damage as you can and keep an eye on your ring count, because that is literally how long you have to live. If you do enough damage, we will destroy it. However, you can see we're already down to 15. He's not dead yet. And so we enter the asteroid belt once again. Gather rings, because now we have to chase him. However, you will also... This is really bad. I'm probably gonna die here. Yep, I just died. Yeah, if you run out of rings, you just lose, and you have to start from scratch. So you want to gather as many rings prior to actually fighting the missile part as you can. There's a couple of sections where rings will just repeat. That's kind of why I'm trying to stay towards the top, because there is a section of rings. And that's also why I'm letting myself get hit more, is I'm trying to collect. Because every time you're hit, you slow down. Doesn't matter if it's an asteroid or a missile. So I'm just kind of trying to get hit so it slows me down a little bit. There we go. 80. 80 so far. And you can see though, Hypersonic does still have his boost effect, so Hypersonic can race through the stage a little bit faster than Supersonic can. So there is an advantage if you do manage to get all 7 Super Emeralds. One hit. You also do not want to be hit by the missiles, because these are your only means of attacking Robotnik. You want as fucking many missiles to be up in the air as possible. And use the Hypersonic's boost to your advantage, like I'm trying to do. Good God, come on. How did that not hit? There we go. Well, things aren't looking good for us. I'm already doing worse on the second attempt than I did on the first. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we're doing a little bit better. We have a little bit more rings than we did last time. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I don't have quite enough rings to do what I should do. Or what I should be able to do, which is, if you do have, again, hypersonic, which hypersonic is godly for this, as opposed to supersonic, hypersonic can rush forward and get hits off faster than supersonic can, because supersonic only has movement speed. So, like, those missiles that he's dropping, hyper can dart forward and get those hits off, which super cannot. So Hyper has a better chance of completing the stage. Not that it can't be done with Supersonic, it's just Hyper has a better chance of doing so successfully and not running out of rings, which has already happened. Yep, and there we go. So, we have won! And that is the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. And so, Sonic and Tails. Tails rescues us in his biplane. We have the Super Emerald. And now, we are going to go return the Master Emerald to its rightful place on Angel Island. Or the Floating Island. That proportion is so not okay. Like, that's so out of proportion. And so, with its emerald restored, the floating island returns to the sky where it had been placed by the Echidna in the past to avoid a meteor crashing into the Earth. And so this scene will play, I think, no matter how you beat the game. But Knuckles comes and sees us off after dropping off the Master Emerald. And so we have the credits will scroll by. I could end the series here, but there's actually a scene if you do complete the game in a super form that I did want to show. And then there's an extra feature as well that I did want to show. Overall, though, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. Frankly, these two games are my favorite in the game series, and honestly, like, probably my favorite Sonic games in general, because... And here we're kind of getting into Sonic, the Sonic fan base a bit. A lot of people get really pissy with older Sonic fans, like, why don't you like the new games? And while some of the new games are terrible, like, there are some new games that aren't as bad. Like, I enjoy Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or Sonic Adventures 2. I really liked, Shadow actually wasn't that bad. I somewhat enjoyed it, although the controls were terrible. So, like, but the thing is like, we loved Sonic not because of, like, what drew me to Sonic wasn't storyline. It wasn't the fact that, you know, it wasn't any of that. What drew me to Sonic is it was simple to play, it was easy to pick up and use, there were a couple of advanced features that you could utilize to make the game easier and to progress if you knew how, there were secrets hidden in stages, and overall, like, the game can be played at your own pace. If you're cautious and careful and want to take it slow, you can take it slow. There's no punishment there. If you want to take it fast, you can take it fast. And if you have the skill to do so, you can take it fast, if you so desire. So that's what originally drew it. And so these newer games where the emphasis is on, like, story, voice acting, Sonic didn't need a story. He never did. That's not what drew us to him in the first place. But Sega, unfortunately, and then later on, I don't know who it is. I think Sonic is now third party, but, like, has gotten fixated on the idea that Sonic only has to do this, to the point that, honestly, they've kind of destroyed, like, they've gotten fixated on this idea that there has to be a convoluted story when there doesn't need to be. And this is the scene. So if you have a hyper form, like, Sonic will actually jump off and give you a thumbs up. If it's supersonic, it's supersonic. If it's hypersonic, he will do so in hyper form. But, like, so that's where kind of, like, the fan base split comes. And if you manage to collect all 14 emeralds, you will have this screen unlock. And that is the end of our journey. So, like, that's kind of where the fan base is torn, and that's why the fan base is so torn, is because there are the 2D fans who absolutely love it, and then there are the older fans who really don't like it. Now, if you've completed all 4 forms, you actually have this symbol above your stage. You can also go back and replay any of the other stages at any time. So what I wanted to do was, I actually wanted to go back to an earlier stage and just show how quickly you can go through it if you know what you're doing. I'm not going to do hyper form, and this is the first stage, so it's fairly easy, but... Yeah, Knuckles. And I'm also not going to do the hyper form, like I think I actually did say that, so... Oh shit, yeah, that was a mistake, that was my bad. That was kind of a bad example. I had a couple of fuck-ups. Incidentally enough, those missiles on the top that he fires, they actually can hurt you, so... So there you go. That is Act 1 completed. So as you can see, like, if you know what you're doing, you can really start to race through these stages. And that's one of the things that really drew people to Sonic, was the fact that you could go at your own pace. You didn't have to go hyper fast. You didn't have to go super slow. You could play the game however you wanted, and that was like the main draw. Like, for instance here, like, normally most people assume, oh, you have to lose your fire shield. Not necessarily. If you time it just right, like, I actually didn't time that right, so I lost it. And all of my rings in the process. Wonderful. But I'm not going to show all of this, but, like, so when you see people, like, criticizing the Sonic games, and, like, some people were a lot of fans and some people were not, and you see people, like, ragging on, like, the Sonic fan base is terrible, they don't even like their own games anymore. That's why, because it's not that they don't like their own games anymore, it's they were a fan of 2D Sonic that had stuff that, quite frankly, the other games, the newer games, don't have. And so, like, for us that were drawn to this older game and that have played the older games, like, we wanted newer games. Not necessarily 3D, they didn't have to be 3D, but, like, we're like this, where... And somewhere along the way, it lost its charm. It stopped being the game that we knew and loved and became something else entirely. Which, again, not necessarily a bad thing, but not what we wanted. But anyways, so I'm going to call it quits here. So thanks for watching. Let's play Sonic Adventures, or Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, guys. I don't know what my next Let's Play series is going to be. I'll let you know in the future. So see you then. Bye-bye.